What's up, guys? How we doing? I'm back. We're doing, I want to educate you guys a little bit on this World Supercross series that we're hearing about. I know a lot of people are kind of sketched out because they hear FIM. Let me explain to you why it has to be the FIM and it can't just be some people starting a Supercross series. This is the same organization that's running this series that ran the OzX Open and some of these really cool off-season events that had great production value and almost all the top riders attended. Yes, it wasn't part of the series and the teams, like the manufacturers didn't, they had to fly the riders over. The guys brought their own bikes. The manufacturers didn't really participate. And I like how they're building this series to where the manufacturers can participate, but they don't have to. And the reason they had to be FIM, for whatever the reason, AMA and FIM, we've all universally accepted these two three-letter organizations as the official champions of our sport. What does it really mean? Well, the AMA doesn't mean shit anymore. The AMA is a club in Ohio, a club that just happens to have that cool red logo that we all just accepted. And they actually did sanction a lot of the events. And if it was an AMA sanctioned event, it actually meant something in the 80s. They had a base rule book and they really did oversee the events. As the years have gone on, the AMA split, sold off the rights to AMA Pro Racing to NASCAR or the Daytona Sports Group, which has leased that to MX Sports. So the Outdoor Nationals, you can say whatever you want about the Outdoor Nationals and their sanctioning body. It's not AMA. The Daytona Motorsports Group uses that logo, which MX Sports has in-house employees enforcing all those rules. But Davey Coombs understood the manufacturers and the people spending money to go racing want that for their promotions. Same reason, same thing for FIM. Those two three-letter organizations are what are accepted. You have to have one or the other, or your series is essentially doomed before it begins. Does that make sense? Anyway, hit me if you got questions about that. But what I'm really excited about is the World Supercross Championship. They had to bid because the FIM understands the power they have with those three little letters. They had a couple different organizations bid on this. This group that runs the OzX Open or ran the OzX Open has won. And let me break down how they're going to do this. What they're doing is what I've been screaming for. I've been screaming for not necessarily, I want these promoters to get rich. I want these guys to get rich. They're laying their asses on the line and putting their money where their mouth is and working their asses off. But they're also considering what the product is. The product is the riders. The fireworks and all that, that's great. That's awesome. And the banners on the side of the track and making it look professional. Yes, all those things are important. But the most important thing about racing is the racers. That's it. So, yeah. 10 teams. They're going to treat it like football, baseball, basketball. You will have a license. So essentially, you'll be a team owner. If you decide to get out of the sport, it should have increasing value if this series is successful to where you could buy in. If you buy in 2022, I don't know how much it costs, but if you decide in 10 years you want to get out of it, you probably sell it for 7 figures, just like they did in the NFL when they initially started. Now try and buy an NFL team, you're in the billions. Go back into the early 1980s, you could probably get a team for 10, 20 million, something like that. Hopefully that's what these team values will do. They're going to have 10 teams, 2 riders in 250, 2 riders in 450. I would imagine they're probably going to have to have a couple backup riders because that literally leaves 20 riders. Yeah. Each event will have 2 wild card riders. And at these events, every event will pay $250,000 to these teams, depending on how they finish. And they haven't given an exact breakdown, or if they do, I don't have it. By the way, if anyone from the series sees this, please please talk to me. I want to talk to you guys. I love what you're doing. I'm on board. I want to check it out. I think this is something that can grow. And guess what? The teams and the riders grow with the sport, not the other way around. Right now, the way our racing is, it's broken. It's literally broken. The promoters and the teams are literally just donating their time right now in hopes of getting exposure Whereas this does both. You actually can, you make profit at the event, and you can sell your sponsorship. So it's double. It's a winning formula in my opinion. Is it going to be the end-all fix of everything? Absolutely not. But it's a step in the right direction. At each event, they'll allow 2 wildcard entries. Did I say that? I may have said that, but and again, I repeat myself a lot. So yeah, it is what it is. 50 million over 5 years. This is going to be seed money, appearance fees, logistics, freight, because it is going to be a world Supercross. So I would imagine they're going to help these teams fly their stuff around. That's not cheap. And in 2022, there will be they're calling it a pilot season. And this is going to be 5 rounds from September to November. And then June 2023 will be a 10-round World Supercross Series sanctioned by the FIM, which they had to pay a large chunk of money for, to maintain credibility with, essentially, that's all that does, is it establishes credibility and some of those stupid rules we don't like. And yeah, they may be tested by WADA. I don't know. That stuff's all, I'm going to have to ask them about that. I would hope that it's not, I don't see a lot of guys over in Europe getting popped, and I'm very suspect of people not using stuff. I've been very open that I think a lot of athletes use performance-enhancing drugs. I don't care. I really don't. I think what we ask them to do is unhuman, and if you need that or it helps recovery and get you riding, I don't care. What I do care is when people get suspended, and 1 or 2 guys get suspended for a T or something when there's major drugs out there. But that's for a different day. I don't care. Not my problem. But I'm excited about this series. I think it's going to change the way people look at promoters and the way teams look at the promoters and they call, who they call their partners. I don't know who MX Sports' partner is, but it sure as hell isn't a single team or a single rider. They don't get anything from them. All that money, and if you want to take a look at it, go to Cooksey Media on Facebook. I've got an article that breaks down exactly how much is paid out by the Outdoor Nationals and what the riders get versus what the promotion gets. Anyway, this is the first step in fixing that. I strongly encourage people to support this series, because if it fails, that means we got to go back to the, then we're stuck with a series that it's never going to grow. People, oh, it'll never grow because of this, because of that. It will never grow when you treat your riders like peasants. It just won't. F1. Oh yeah, Netflix this, Netflix that. But guess what? Those teams get half the money. So when you want to do something like that, if you actually have a true partner who you're sharing money with and revenue with, you can do really cool things like that. So anyway, guys, check it out. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. And don't forget, please subscribe. I hate to hammer you on that, but it does help the reach of my videos. And being the anti-media culture guy that I am, and how they try to ban me from saying what I think, yeah, just subscribe, and then, yeah, appreciate it, guys.